Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. We discussed, better to say, we started semiconductor devices in the last class, and we have discussed about what is semiconductor and on what basis we divided solids into three types: conductors, insulators and semiconductors, and what is the difference between conductors and semiconductors, and what exactly we study in this chapter. And I said you that we will study mainly about germanium and silicon. These two semiconductors we actually study about in this chapter. This is what I said, or this is what exactly we are going to discuss, right? Now, for example, if you take silicon, what is the atomic number of silicon? 14. So what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p2. Here this is partially filled, right? So 3p, 3d also will be there, but only 14 electrons are there, so they filled according to this, right? Now, as we discuss energy band theory, so here there is some empty or partially filled energy band is there, that is conduction band, and there is one more, that is fully filled, that is valence band. So here in case of silicon, when you consider the electronic configuration, here in valence band there are 4 electrons, so there are 4 valence electrons. Similar way you write the electronic configuration for germanium also, there are 4 electrons, same like silicon. Atomic number is different, but if you write the configuration, which electronic configuration, you will get 4 valence electrons, right? Now what exactly we study today is, if you take a semiconductor like silicon or germanium, the naturally getting or the naturally existing semiconductor, we call it as intrinsic semiconductor, where each silicon or germanium will have 4 valence electrons. How many valence electrons? 4 valence electrons. So if you consider little bit of chemistry, there are different type of bonds between the atoms: ionic bond, covalent bond, so on. So ionic bond, it is different. Covalent bond, it is different. But if you consider covalent bond, what is covalent bond? In a chemical bond which forms due to sharing of electrons. Ionic means accepting or donating. Either one will accept, one will donate. So one will become positive ion, another will become negative ion. But here in covalent bond, the electron of one atom and the electron of other atom, that is shared one electron by each, and they form one bond, that is covalent bond. Similar way, when you consider a pure, you can say pure semiconductor or pure silicon or germanium semiconductor which exists naturally, that we call it as intrinsic semiconductor, where each atom has 4 valence electrons. So why I explained about covalent bond? Because when you consider one silicon, it has 4 electrons. Then when you consider a solid of silicon, there are many atoms and if you take one adjacent one also, there are 4, and here also there is one more. So here also 4 electrons, here also 4 electrons, like here also 4 electrons. Now one silicon atom if you consider, as it is having 4 valence electrons, it forms bond with 4 adjacent atoms. 4 adjacent atoms. So here one silicon is having 4 electrons and 4 are completely bounded. No question of they become freely. Because here the electron is sharing between 2 atoms. They are forming one strong covalent bond. So that this will form 4, this will form 4 bonds, this will form 4 bonds, so on. So all the electrons of silicon material or germanium semiconductors, they tightly bounded inside the material with covalent bond. So that at absolute zero temperature, as I said in the last class, the conductivity of semiconductor is 0. Why? Conductivity comes from where? When there are free electrons, then only the electron can move freely throughout the material. Then only they can conduct electricity. But here, if you take silicon or germanium, same case. 4 electrons and 4 valence. So 4 valence electrons so that they can form 4 covalent bond. So such material we call it as pure semiconductor, which does not conduct any electricity at absolute zero temperature. Now the question arises, what? Does pure or intrinsic semiconductor conduct no electricity, or will it conduct any electricity? At absolute zero temperature only, this is the figure, this is the scenario. So that all electrons are tightly bounded. But when temperature rises slowly, then what happens? See here. So when you consider one silicon, so 4 electrons, and it is forming bond with 4 more silicon by sharing electron. Now as temperature increases, there are many silicon atoms because it is a solid, it is sum of millions of atoms. When you consider one such silicon, and as temperature is rising, one of the silicons, one of the covalent bond may broke. How many? I don't know. You also don't know. So as temperature increases, slowly the covalent bond starts breaks. When bond breaks, electron becomes free. Or sometimes what happens, one of the electron of the covalent bond that gets free, that becomes free because of rise in temperature. Rise in temperature means electron gets some heat energy, external energy. Due to the external energy given in the form of heat, the electron becomes free. As electron becomes free, then what happens? Here vacancy created. What vacancy? The space or place which can be occupied by an electron. One more electron can come and occupy, right? So that when here electron came out. So what will be there here? Vacancy. Now this is free electron. This is vacancy, this is free electron. Now see here. In semiconductor, especially first of all intrinsic semiconductor, as temperature rises, then one of the electron of one of the covalent bond will become free by breaking its bond because of the external energy gained from rising temperature in the form of heat. It gets excited and breaks the bond so that it will become one free electron. So now charge carriers are available to move throughout the material. As charge carriers are available, then electricity will be conducted. That is what happens as temperature rises. So we get some free electrons inside the semiconductor, intrinsic semiconductor. So that generally, if you consider, earlier I said how many electrons will become free, we don't know exactly. But approximately they have said that out of 10 to the power of 9 atoms, solid means what? There are millions and billions of atoms. But out of 10 power 9 atoms, one electron breaks its bond. So out of 10 power 9 atoms, one electron becomes free. That much less number of electrons we get as temperature rises. So the number is very less. Even though with the increase in temperature slightly, bond is breaking, electron is getting free, and we are getting free charges so that the material can conduct electricity. But the current depends upon, current equal to what? Charge flow, rate of charge flow, charge by time. Charge equal to what? NE by time. But here less number is there, Ne is very less. So that charge is less, so that current is less. Conductivity is there, but less conductivity which is of no use. Obviously what you will do? You will think of increasing this number. You will think of increasing this current. Right? So that transformation or that process of increasing conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor is called as doping. But what is that we will understand later. And after converting the conductor, we call it as extrinsic semiconductor. After increasing the conductivity levels, the conductor we call it as extrinsic. This is intrinsic semiconductor or pure semiconductor. After doing something, as I said, doping, that will become into same conductor, but the name will be given as extrinsic semiconductor. Right? Now here one more concept is also very important here, because the whole chapter, in the entire chapter we say one thing like whole current or a charge carrier called hole and current due to hole or whole current. First time when I heard it, hole is moving, I laughed a lot. Really. How can one hole moves, man? Hole means what? This vacancy. Does the vacancy can move anywhere? No. That is a space. That is a place. That is a vacancy created due to the breaking of covalent bond. So that electron jumps from there. But everywhere we say that whole current, whole is moving. This is moving. That is something logical like this. because you need to understand that. Because in the entire chapter we say that whole current, not W-H-O-L-E, H-O-L-E, whole current. The current due to the movement of holes. Hole also behaves as charge, we will say. Why? See here. Now let's take here one more adjacent is there. Now here electron became free. One electron became free from here. Now we got one negative charge. One negative charge. Now what happens is this vacancy may be filled by some other electrons in the surroundings. Like suppose this electron or this electron or this or this. Any electron can come here because of temperature rise. Now as electron, instead of becoming free, it may shift its position from one covalent bond to another covalent bond. The electron just shifts its position from one place to other place. Here also it was bounded, here also it will be bounded. But the difference is the electron got shifted. That means electron moved from here to here. Now earlier there was a vacancy here. Now after that here vacancy created. Now this is the vacancy. So as electron moves from one place to other place, hole moves from here to here. Means hole shifts. That only we say in this chapter, like hole is moving. Hole is moving. That is what. But usually if you say hole is moving, hole is having some current, means it is nonsense. Hole is shifting means that is because of the shift in the position of what? Electron. There is current due to the movement of hole. That is because of actually the movement of electron. But when electron is moving this way, current is in this way. Right? But when electron is moving in this way, current is in this way, opposite. Current flows always in the opposite direction of motion of electrons. That's why in the whole chapter, in the complete entire chapter, we say that for a semiconductor or inside semiconductor, there are two types of charge carriers. There are two types of charge carriers. One is positive, nothing but electron. Another one is negative is electron. Positive is hole. Which actually nothing but are because of the movement of electron only. Because here two possibilities are there. One electron may become free and we get one negative charge. Or movement of negative charge. Or one electron may shift from one place to another place. Like from one bounded state to another vacancy. But it is bounded here, also it will be bounded here. It is not free. It just shifted its covalent bond from one to other. So that vacancy moved from here to here. That's why the hole is moving in the opposite direction of electron. That's why we treat like positive charge. Because negative charge moving rightwards means positive charge moves leftward. So we conclude that this positive hole behaves like proton in conductor. Generally, when you consider current electricity inside the conductor, like if you connect to a battery, conducting wire, you have connected to a battery, this is positive terminal, this is negative terminal. This end gets positive potential, this end gets negative potential. so that there is some potential difference across the ends of the conductor. So due to the potential difference between the ends of the conducting wire, the charges moves from one place to other place. Positive charges always move from high potential to low potential. So protons. And negative charges always move from negative potential to positive, or better to say low potential to high potential. This is electron. So that there is some conduction of electricity current, nothing but current, and current direction always opposite to electron flow, and better to say always from high potential to low potential. Similar way here also the electron is moving in this way, but hole is shifting in the opposite way. So electron shifted this way, hole is shifting opposite way. Like electron is moving leftward, proton is moving rightward. So inside the semiconductor, the position of vacancy behaving like proton. It is moving in the similar manner like proton, opposite to electron. That's why vacancy nothing but hole. We treat, we consider, we assume that it is of positive charge, or it behaves like proton in conductor. So proton in conductor, hole in semiconductor, both are same kind of behavior. So here now, if you consider such conductor, what type of conductor it is? Intrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor, or you can also say pure semiconductor, pure naturally existing semiconductor. If you take this pure semiconductor at any temperature other than absolute zero temperature, not absolute zero temperature, at any temperature greater than absolute temperature, what happens? Few bonds breaks, few electrons becomes free. Like one electron become free, one vacancy created. So one electron, then one hole. 10 electrons, then 10 equivalent holes. That means, if suppose out of some number of atoms, like as I said, out of 10 power 9, 1 will come. Like that, if you count the total, if there are n electrons, then how many holes will be there? N. So here we define one thing, that number of charge carriers per unit volume is called number density. I said many times, density is not just like mass by volume. That is mass density. This is number density. Within particular volume, how many free electrons or how many holes are there? Total number by total volume. That is called charge density or number density. Like inside intrinsic semiconductor, there is a density for electron, there is a density for holes. But for intrinsic semiconductor, both are same. As many electrons, that many holes. That's why their density is also same. So the number density n equal to total number by total volume. Number of charge carriers per unit volume. Even this also you have studied in current electricity already. Like Current in a conductor, you will write it as NeAVD, where small n is what? Electron density, charge density. That is nothing but what? Number of charges per unit volume. Same way here also. But here inside the semiconductor there is one real charge, there is one imaginary charge. The real one is electron, the imaginary one is hole. So that there are equal number of electrons as well as holes. Because here we don't say the concept of proton. So such kind of behavior actually exists inside the semiconductor. What type of semiconductor? Intrinsic semiconductor. So that always inside intrinsic semiconductor, number of electrons and holes, number of negative and positive charge carriers always equal. So here, even though as temperature increased, number of charges increased, conductivity increased, right? So what is the problem? The problem is the number is very low, so the conductivity of the semiconductor is very less. For a pure semiconductor, the conductivity is very low, which is of no use in practicality. You cannot make any device with that one. Then obviously what you will do? Even though we can get something, but there is some problem, means you will find the solution. You will try to do something to overcome that difficulty. What is the difficulty? Low conductivity. Then they started thinking about increasing conductivity, and they have done with that method called doping, and they turned the intrinsic semiconductor into another one, that is called extrinsic semiconductor. That is what mainly we need to understand. So here if you consider, first solids we have taken. We have divided into three types, like conductors, semiconductors, insulators. And these semiconductors we have divided into again intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. These are pure, these are doping. What is the meaning of doping and all? We will study in the coming class. Then we get extrinsic semiconductor, and there are again two types. One is P type, one is N type. So in the coming class, what exactly we need to study is how to get extrinsic semiconductor from intrinsic semiconductor. What you will do and why or how we get, there are two types like P type and N type. But I will give you some simple introduction to doping. That doping is nothing but like you are polluting. I mean you are adding something. You are adding some other element to this intrinsic semiconductor. It is pure silicon or germanium, any one. But for that you will add some other external one, so that you are adding and you are converting into some other. That's why it is called external one, extrinsic semiconductor. And that process is happening because of mixing of some other elements. That's why it is called doping. So doping is nothing but you are adding something to it. To whom? To intrinsic semiconductor. But mainly what we have to understand, what we have to add, and if you add this, what happens, if you add something else, what happens, and what are the possibilities, and what to add to get P type, what to add to get N type, and what is the difference between P type and N type. So first our duty is to increase the conductivity, because the naturally existing one is having low conductivity, which is of no use. Then we will study further, right? So this is all about the intrinsic or pure semiconductor, either silicon or germanium, right? We'll continue in the coming class. Thank you.